So tired. I don't even know what I'm going to say. Oh God, an applause for what? Don't scare Adam. Just don't scare him. What a night. What a night. So much has happened in the last 5 months. Since April 16th of this year, I've learned so much. I've learned so much about others, and I've also learned so much about myself. But if I were to be honest with you all right now, I'm feeling really sad. And I don't want to cry. I don't. I cried a lot. I've honestly cried a lot the last 2 years. But the last 5 months, for me, was heartbreaking. Sorry, I'm just going to take my time. Because I can. You're all watching. Anyways. I really loved advocating for survivors. I really loved it. You'll never know how much I loved it. And how much work I put into it. No, actually, Kat knows. I take that back. Kat knows exactly how much fucking work I put into it. And slowly I started to realize that what I wasn't fully aware of was the roots of abuse. I was so focused on predatory behavior that maybe I didn't want to look at the roots as a survivor. Maybe for my own healing journey, I wasn't ready to look at that. And then I learned quickly that the roots are there. That predatory behavior comes from somewhere. And that was a lot to process for me personally, that it comes from somewhere. And maybe I do need to look at that. Maybe we all need to look at that. Maybe it's easy to call someone just a predator. Maybe it's easier than wondering why. That sucks. That sucks. Because as a survivor, that doesn't excuse them choosing to be a predator. Doesn't excuse their choices to be abusive. That doesn't change that. But the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I started to see the roots growing and becoming more and more visible in the survivor community. I started to see it in real time. The cycle that I personally have to deal with as a survivor. I'm not excusing myself, but I really had to look at that. I honestly didn't want to go live right now, so I'm just kind of processing the fact that I chose to do this right now, and but I needed to, because the reason why I was tweeting last night was because I felt sad and I felt angry at what I endured and what I had to leave behind because of how survivors treated me. I stood in the rain for survivors. I did so much for survivors, and I realized that it wasn't enough for them. For some. Not all, but for some. One person in particular that I'm just not gonna let it go is Kat. Kat. You know how I found you? It was during the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. That was weird, maybe not as weird as tonight. No, maybe it was as weird as tonight. That was a scary time to be a survivor, but honestly, when is it not, right? But it was a wild time because this was post the Me Too movement. And survivors felt, or at least I did, that there was some traction, there was movement, there was a movement. And people were listening to survivors. And we were starting to understand the language around what victim blaming is, or grooming, or coercion, power dynamics. And then the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial happened. And we all had to watch people laugh at drama. Laugh when someone shares their story about what happened to them. TikTok video after TikTok video of people laughing at a survivor and nitpicking her about everything. Not giving the money to the nonprofit. I mean, it just went on and on and on. And you realize, wow, we're still here. But you weren't still there. You showed that you cared. And you were willing to go up against the Twitter bot bros or whatever, Depp heads, and honestly tell them what's up. And it was impressive and it was inspiring to me. You didn't let anyone discredit her, honestly, or pick her apart. And there weren't many journalists at that time that were doing that. Now it's people feel more comfortable. The evidence has come out. Isn't that always how it goes, Kat? But in the moment, it wasn't that. And you went against the grain. And that was inspiring to me. And so I started following you then. I just want to start this live with saying, that was rad. But who are you now? Who are you now? What have you personally become? I saw it. And I was devastated by it. You didn't believe me. You didn't believe a survivor. You gave in to misinformation. You started listening to the Depp heads. But in a way that I didn't even know was possible, honestly. To the point where you actually empowered my stalker. I'm not going to go into that yet. I want to start with what you emailed me in April. No, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready for Adam either. What you emailed me in April was honestly bizarre behavior. I could not believe that it was you, that you would do that, that you would use your job to try and scare me because you were mad that I didn't read your article when it came to Drake Bell. So much so that when Adam was live, you were in the chat going off or whatever. Kat, I didn't read your article about the harassment of Drake Bell's reported survivors because you platformed someone by the name of Exposing Rich, who you were watching regularly harass me daily, by the hour, almost by the minute, senselessly. And I found your article hypocritical. Okay. If you're going to stand for survivors not being harassed, you don't choose which ones don't deserve harassment. You watched her or whoever harass me. And that hurt my feelings. So I didn't want to read that article, but I didn't know at what lengths you would go to get even about that. But I found out. I found out. So we're going to go through your email. We're going to go through it question by question. I'm going to answer them again in short form. You have all the evidence. You guys can go ahead and be mean girls and say the article didn't come out because I'm irrelevant. Nice. Not true. The article didn't come out because I showed you the evidence that you were wrong and that your sources were fucking liars. It was a we transfer. It became a drive. It just became piles of evidence that proved that what you were writing was defamatory, that you would be held liable for that defamation, including your sources. That is the reality. And you know it. And I wish you were honest about that and stopped allowing harassment or bullying towards a survivor. I wish you were you during the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. I wish you were still like that. Where's that cat at? I want to see her again. The deep dive that you were doing, you might have dived too far to no return. I think that's honestly what happened. But the grossest part about it was the fact that you were empowering and enabling my stalker, who is dangerous. Again, I hate that I have to actually repeat this, but my child has a restraining order against him too. And I find it weird that he filed what he filed around the same time as your article. Why? What empowered him to further harass me? I sure hope I never find out it was you. Because that's not what you stand for, right? That's not what your article was about. No. So I hope I never find out that you were behind it. Because if I do, that's going to be a sad, sad day, not just for me, but for a lot of people. So let's go and read your email. So on April 16th, 2024, I got an email from Kat. Hello. This is Kat Tenbarge with NBC News in New York City. I've been trying to get in contact with Alexa about this over the past couple of weeks. Should have tried harder. And I'd be happy to discuss more over a call. Our deadline for a response is Wednesday, April 17th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the next day. That's less than 24 hours you gave me to respond to this nonsense. We can discuss if more time is needed to respond. In late March, a former member of ePredators reached out to me. They shared more concerning information about the group, and I started to research and speak to people who were formerly involved. Now,
I have to be honest here. I have to be honest here. I do have to be honest here. It is not a great look.
No, it's not because because it was false. So false, what you found there. Especially after I made so many YouTube videos breaking down the receipts of your own sources. But you didn't believe a survivor. That's all right, but admit that. And speak to people who were formerly involved. Now NBC is working on an article about our findings. Cool. Where's that article? Since the explosive premiere of Quiet on Set, I've been reporting on the fallout from the docuseries. I worked on this article. We know the article you're upset about. We get it. About Drake Bell. One of the first things I noticed was that Alexa had pivoted away from supporting Bell's anonymous victim in 2021 Ohio case, unlisting her YouTube video about it and began supporting Bell after Quiet on Set debuted with its focus on him. Full screen. I didn't find out that Drake Bell was part of that documentary until like 10 hours before the whole world knew. I had no fucking clue that he was in that documentary. I didn't know he was a victim. And when I found out, especially during that time that was already so much to process, it shook me. Like how I began this episode, I wasn't looking at the roots, okay? I was too busy eating predators. I didn't want to look at the roots. And when I found out that Drake Bell was a survivor, it changed me a little bit. And that's okay. I think it should have changed us all, honestly. Because it's not about excusing his behavior, but it was about understanding a little bit about the cycle. And then when I looked back at the YouTube video that I made about Drake Bell, I saw me trauma responding a little bit. And maybe not being the best I could be when it came to addressing that. Specifically the end of that video with the balloon and his kid. I felt bad for his kid. And I felt bad for Drake Bell. I did. I felt bad that I didn't see that. That I just saw him as I dehumanized him with the word predator. That's okay too. But I saw a person, now that I heard his story, And I didn't know what to do, to be honest with you. I didn't know what to do. I had alleged dad on his shirt. Sure, you might think he deserves it. And I'm not even gonna sit here and debate that. But there is a kid there in him, and he has a kid. And I saw him as not only someone that I felt harmed someone, but I also saw him harmed. And I just wanted to reassess myself in that moment. And so I took the video down. Because in that moment, a survivor was talking. He was sharing his story. I just wanted to listen to a survivor. And I wanted to hear what happened to him. And I wanted to see him when it happened. Not who he is today, but him when it happened. But that wasn't the only thing that happened. When I found out that people wrote letters defending his abuser when he was a kid, and these were people in the entertainment industry, which is what I talk about a lot. I mean, honestly, it proved the point of what I've been talking about all along. That enablers are a problem. That we need to make sure that people understand that it's not okay to not listen to survivors. That we have to listen to them and hear what they have to say. But for me personally, it meant something new for once. That sometimes survivors can recycle. Anyways, the reason why I took down the video was because I needed time to process what that meant to me as a survivor. If I found out tomorrow that the person who abused me was abused, I might need to take a look at that and what that means. But it wasn't just that. I then wanted to make a video revisiting him being convicted for child endangerment. I wanted to revisit it in a new perspective. And so I actually wanted the documents when it came to Drake Bell so that I could look at it. And instead of taking it from New York Times that called him an SO, a registered SO, then took that down after Quiet on Set, which is really sad, honestly, that it took them that long, I think. I do think that was wrong. If something didn't If that's not true, it shouldn't be in there. But that was the article I was taking information from. And I just wanted to make a new video. And so I requested those documents to look at them. And it actually, I wasn't defending Drake Bell. I actually wanted to see the whole fucking thing and talk about it and talk about the cycle of abuse. When I got the documents, you guys are all just gonna say I'm crazy. I saw things I couldn't unsee. That I didn't want to see. That I didn't want to see. God damn it. I didn't want to see it. Specifically when it came, I'll go into it later, Snapchat, okay? And when I read that the key witnesses went up against her testimony, I actually felt really fucking sad. Because that's what happens all the time for survivors. People don't support you in the ways in which you deserve. And I hated reading what I was reading. But the Snapchat thing, there are not that many survivors that get forensic data. I wasn't as brave as her when I was younger. I wasn't as brave as her. I never got that day. And I'm so happy that she did. And I do support her and her healing process and how brave she was. And there were things that made me feel uncomfortable that I didn't know how to address. And that's okay. I was scared to honestly address some of the things in there. Because what does that say about survivors? What does that say about my video? I'm a human. I'm a human. You people on Twitter pretending you know me, you don't. You know this much about me. And I wish that you gave me that grace. But you didn't. You just made me out to be somebody who was defending Drake and ignoring the victim. I was going through my own healing process and trying to understand certain things. Sorry. But one thing for sure, I did not deserve how you all fucking treated me. I didn't deserve it. At all. I didn't deserve to be called the names that I was called. I didn't deserve to be dragged. You guys all asked me about my well-being. Oh, Alexa needs to go into therapy. God, sure. I'm a survivor. I am in therapy. Again, you don't know me. Sometimes 3 times a week, I go to therapy. Thank you. That's just mean. That's just mean. Everyone deserves therapy. But the way that you talk about my well-being, as if I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, or I don't know what I'm doing or why I'm doing it, just bully behavior and cruel and not how you fucking act to one another. So last night, what you saw was really a look in the mirror. So I stood up for myself. You guys have been trashing me for months on end, saying things that are fucking false about me. I just sat back and watched it, here and there. I stood up for myself, and then I'm the crazy one. Whatever makes you honestly happy. But you were wrong. But what really shocked me was the fact that Kat, who is a professional journalist, gave into trolls spreading misinformation about me. Gave into somebody with a restraining order. And empowered them to continue to harass me. And again, I was disregarded. Felt like it was okay to trash me. Not today. Not today. Because I want to go through at least some of the evidence. Because if I had to go through all of it, we'd be here for 5 days straight. But I want to go through some of the evidence that Kat had to go through. Adam, that article didn't come out not because I'm fucking irrelevant. Get real. Unbelievable.
We're both in the chat, by the way.
That's good. I'm glad you're here. You're mean.
Continuing to lie.
Oh, you're continuing to lie. Are you tired? God, I'm tired. You must be exhausted. What time is it in Ireland? Is it the morning? That article didn't come out because it was defamatory about me. It was provably false. Not a con artist. It wasn't not giving people t-shirts when they paid for them. It just wasn't real. Joe Dunn didn't... Joe Dunn didn't make e-predators. What the fuck are you talking about? But you know, Kat, where you got that information? I'm pretty positive. Was my stalker's filing. That got thrown out, by the way. I created e-predators. I did that. Let me have that. Just like, I want to honor you for all the work you've done. I don't want to take that away from you. Don't take that away from me. Or don't try to even. And I feel like a constant, for the last year, honestly, I've been dealing with people saying that I didn't create e-predators. And I'm constantly having to defend myself. And I'm not going to do that today. But I don't really get, why are you guys all so upset that I did? What's the big deal? So what, a child star from Zoe 101, a celebrity, did this. Well, maybe again, we all need to reevaluate how we label people. Maybe we dehumanize people by labeling them. Maybe that's not the right thing to do. Maybe we're not going to create that much change if we're constantly labeling people, human life. Maybe it's time for us to be looking at them as humans. Kind of like what ended up happening with me with Drake Bell. predatory behavior in general, honestly. But it's not because I don't believe victims, Adam, Kat. It's because I started to look at predatory behavior in a new way, and I was allowed to. And I wanted time to do that. And you wanted to bully me and force me into talking about it, and I wasn't ready. That's coercion. That's not okay behavior. When I want to talk about it, I will. But what you did, Kat, to try to get me to talk about it was abusive. It was. You like wanted to make me feel, you wanted to punish me. Felt like punishment. I just spent 3 days, I have 2 kids, sending you that evidence and just watching it all happen again. What I already explained and already showed, I had to go through it again. You re-traumatized me. Do you understand? You re-victimized me. You made me feel not believed. So I don't fucking like that you're dissing me for not believing Drake Bell's a victim, which is not true. Well, you don't believe, though, a victim of stalking. Who are you? It's hypocritical. Welcome to human life. But I'm still going to look at you as a human. I'm not going to say you're irrelevant. You are relevant. You matter. So does Adam. Adam, you're relevant too. Surprise. Kind of weird, right? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You're relevant. You're relevant. Don't ever fucking call me irrelevant again. Or anybody. Okay. All right, so the quiet on set, I began supporting Belle. Now you know why. Get it? Okay. I have since spoken to 5 former members of ePredators. What, the 5 that I already made videos about with the receipts? Those ones? That's just weird. I already did all the emotional labor, showing you what happened. Okay. Reviewed dozens of hours of Alexa's YouTube content, read and watched news coverage of ePredators, reviewed thousands of social media posts, and reviewed legal documentation in connection with Alexa's restraining order against a former EP member, as well as his recently filed request for a civil harassment restraining order against Alexa. Kat, I hope I never find out you had anything to do with that filing. Because you know what I thought about? As a survivor, when I was first talking about Miloš, so many journalists didn't feel comfortable about publishing an article about what I had to say because it wasn't a legal document. You know, litigation privilege. And they would encourage, if there was a legal document, then I would be able to publish this with more security. Is something okay, Mika?
Yeah.
You know about that, right, Kat? It better protects you when you have a legal document. And it was just so weird because that filing happened right around the same time as this email. To be exact, my stalker is such a stalker it really fucking scares me, that he signed it on my birthday, that filing. Didn't you find that strange, Kat? That he filed that, dated that on my birthday? But anyways, it weirded me out. I just hope that I never find out that there was any type of encouragement towards him to do something like that. Because when I look at his filing, which by the way, again, got thrown out, I saw that a lot of your questions were stemming from that document. Ugh. Not a good look.
And
Not a good, yeah. Adam knows.
Oh, I'm sweating. Oh, I'm sweating. Oh my God.
Me too. And it's also 100 fucking degrees outside right now. I don't know which part I'm sweating about. But really not a good look, Kat. And it continued later. There's actually more of this legal documentation that kind of started just float around during you doing your deep dive on me. But I really hope you weren't encouraging a dangerous stalker who a 2-year-old has a restraining order against in any type of way. I hope I never find that out, because I have hope that you're better than that. But weird that your questions really stem from that filing. My questions for Alexa are below. I can accept written responses to these questions and or a written statement. Or we can discuss the questions during an on-the-record phone call. Each question pertains to something that we plan to include in the story. Kat, I called you. I called you. And I cried to you. And I told you how heartbroken I was that you were platforming my stalker. That I was scared. I have a daughter. You didn't give a fuck. You were cold as ice. I told you about the Drake Bell documents. I told you about my feelings and what I was processing. I heard that you were writing an article about Drake Bell. I asked you, since you're a journalist, do you want the documents? And you said no. Huh? I said, do you want to know how to go and get them since they're not sealed? Since you asked me if I got them from Drake Bell. No, I didn't. I didn't get them from Drake Bell. I told you how to get them, but you said no. And I found that a little bit also concerning behavior. Because you want a journalist to not be biased. And this is not about not believing the survivor. Just, don't you want to support the survivor properly? Instead of getting your sourcing from Twitter? Hell? I thought you were a better journalist than that. I thought you had more integrity. I believed in you. But you didn't want those documents. And I found that weird. I didn't like that feeling. Because I want journalists to want to know all the information. It scares me when they don't. And also, really made me understand you more. Because then when I read the questions you asked me, I realized you care more about getting your sourcing from Twitter than you do from evidence, factual evidence. in my opinion. This is my personal experience. Okay. So let's go into the first question. The first question you asked me was, what are Alexa's credentials and professional experience regarding victim advocacy? Has she ever worked for or been involved in any other advocacy groups besides ePredators? Does she have any training, such as from the National Organization for Victim Advocacy? Do you? Because I'm pretty positive that I heard on the phone call with two people you were getting sourcing from, two sources that you didn't. And don't you interview survivors? Shouldn't you maybe be trauma-informed? And actually, no. I'm sorry, Kat, to let you know that I don't have any other credentials than being a survivor, than experiencing it firsthand. That's how I learned. I'd advocate for survivors. I'm not saying I'm perfect all the time, but that's what brought me into that space. And to be honest with you, I looked at how trauma certification works, and it's just a quiz. Just a quiz. Yeah, sure, it is important. I get it. But it really, at the end of the day, it's just school. I know what it's like to be a victim firsthand, sadly. And that's what moved me to advocate for them. I'm not really sure what the point of the question was, but I hope that answers it for you. Since when does a survivor have to be trauma informed? It's called like experiencing trauma enough to the point where you know what it's like to be a victim. How much trauma do you have to endure to know how to advocate? Every survivor has the right to advocate for other survivors. They don't need to take a certificate online, do a few quizzes, and then be like, I'm trauma informed. I don't even think that happens, because one of your sources, I'm pretty positive, was Kay. Kay would only brag about being trauma informed and went on my stalker's podcast, also empowered and validated and encouraged him to harass me. Is that trauma informed? No. But guess what? Kay has a certificate. And I just want to let you know, I don't really know what that means. I really don't know what that means. Alexa stated in a live stream YouTube video on April 15th that she took down her video about Drake Bell's 2021 case because of an error in a New York Times piece that she cited. Does she stand behind the overarching points made in the video, like her support of the victim's impact statement? I wish I had the bravery at the time to confront you bullies then and say it wasn't just about the New York Times article that I was reading, but also what I was processing as a human being. It was a lot more than that, but I wasn't ready to talk about it. Do I stand behind the victim? I stand behind the victim's bravery. And I think I answered it pretty well right here. To you directly, Kat. Can you zoom in on it so I can see it a little bit better?
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah. I said to you, Kat, I support all survivors. For me, that means supporting survivorhood. I can support Drake and his survivorship and at the same time want him to break the cycle of abuse. E-Predators, power to survivors, means power within. That means we are no longer dependent. That includes not being dependent on me. I don't need anyone to believe me. I have power within. And I want other survivors to feel that power too. I do not support Drake Bell explicitly talking to a 15-year-old girl. Even if he claims he did not know her age until he asked. I can't see it anymore. I don't support that. I support the victim's bravery, and I'm glad she got to be heard. And get justice for the ways in which she was harmed. I was sad and heartbroken when I learned that some of the key witnesses' testimonies and Cleveland police forensic data did not support her victim statement in its entirety. It was heartbreaking. But Kat, you got this. When did you get this statement from me?
The 18th of April.
And you've been seeing people tweeting about me not supporting the victim? You read that in April. You read that. You've been looking at this evidence since April. I think I'm going to put on a drive, to be honest with you, and let everyone read it. But you've been looking at that since April, and you never once did what I would do for you. So that's my answer. Whew. Alexa said she recently obtained sealed documents. First of all, where the fuck do you... I never said I obtained sealed documents. You are all saying that. I said I got documents. Never said they were sealed. I think actually at one point I tweeted saying they're not sealed. And also, Kat, why are you lying about them not being redacted? I have the proof of the Google Drive of what documents were sent to you. They're redacted. Why are you lying like that? I didn't give you, what is it, unredacted? I don't even know how to say. I gave you.
Coming across dishonest.
It is. Adam knows.
Yeah.
I gave you redacted documents that are from the police. And you went on Twitter, and instead of talking about what really I think you should be talking about, which is that you looked at the evidence, and it's not because I'm irrelevant. Please go full screen, because I really want, Kat, you're watching. I really want to talk to you. You had a quick time to finally start talking now, and you lied. That's weird. I was actually looking forward to you going, sure, I'm hurt that Alexa tweeted last night, whatever your personal feelings are, but I did look at this, and there were some discrepancies about the sources that I was interviewing, and that you listened and spoke to other sources that weren't them, that cooperated with my evidence, physical evidence. Why won't you just say that the article didn't come out because there was too much evidence stacking against it? Why are you letting Adam be a mean girl, a mean kid, a mean adult, and say that it's because I'm irrelevant? Why? Why? That's false. And you know that. I'm going to leak the drive. Including submitted evidence and witness transcriptions. Did Bell or someone in connection with Bell provide Alexa with these documents? Kat, I taught you how to get the documents. These aren't... You know what? Also, wait, you know what? I'm actually going to answer this question in a different way this time. What if they did give it to me? What if someone in connection with Drake Bell gave me these like documents that you can just go get? What? What does that change, really? Because if the evidence stacks against Drake Bell, that just makes him look bad. Right? I don't really understand the question. I think it's because you still were listening to Twitter and thinking these documents were sealed, maybe. But no, they're not sealed. And no, Drake Bell did not give them to me. But even if he did do that, what does that even matter? These are actual documents. It's evidence. I don't really get the point of the question. Gotcha. In February 2023, Alexa told Rolling Stone she planned to refile her SA and grooming suit against Miloš. What is the status of that case? Was it refiled? None of your fucking business. See how these questions, though, are like how they're... Are you guys getting the vibe? The Kat doesn't like me? Are you getting the vibe that Kat was honestly just trying to, I don't know, make me feel like shit? Let me know that she believed them, not me. And I find it really strange that in all of these questions, because I've dealt with a lot of survivors going to journalists, and when they send these letters, they'll talk about the evidence they got. Like, do you have a response to this receipt? Like, this email that was sent? Have you noticed that there's none of that? It's just, this person said, and Twitter, and a stalker. There's not real good sourcing happening here. I'm seeing a lack of integrity. I'm seeing I'm seeing Twitter. And it feels just not good. Based on information from 3 sources with direct knowledge, can you just get evidence? Like it's always this, like, it's like telephone. It feels like you're playing or something. Based on information from 3 sources with direct knowledge and claims, like, oh, and here it is, made in legal documentation. Is it correct that attorneys, oh, and here it is, Kat. Here is proof that you were using my stalker's filing, which was to further harass me and my family. And maybe to get you to send this email. Here you are citing him. Including former California Senator Joe Dunn, encouraged Alexa and other survivors in the entertainment industry to form an advocacy group. No. That's not true. Is it correct that Dunn held an unofficial advisory role, encouraging the group to establish an organizational structure and legally reviewing ePredator's materials? Dude, I don't even know what the fuck's happening. Joe Dunn is done, by the way. Joe Dunn just lost a lawsuit from the state bar, I'm pretty sure, for being an unethical lawyer. I don't support Joe Dunn. Okay? I honestly want nothing to do with the guy. Did he encourage survivors to speak out? Yeah, sure. I mean, he wrote a bill, the bill, to open up the statute for adult survivors. He did that. Or at least that's what he told me. So yeah, he was encouraging a lot of survivors. However they would find their voice, he encouraged it, honestly. I'm still not really understanding the question. But to form an advocacy group, no, that just naturally happened. He would connect survivors with one another. That's what I saw him do. You're not alone. Here's this one. And you know what's so sad? There's so many survivors. And you realize you're not alone. And that's what he did. There's not like a conspiracy. There's not a conspiracy behind it. Just introducing people. But I started protesting. I started choosing the places to go protest. I started organizing those protests, which again, you have the evidence of it. Of working until 4 a.m. with my husband, making the protest signs, doing the research. You got all the notes even. You got all the data. You got all of it. You saw it. So no, Joe Dunn is not like the man behind the woman. Like, also I found that really, like it was misogyny to me. Because I feel like women, like we're never believed. But also people don't believe that we're like capable of doing things that are powerful. That sucks. It's a man, it's a white dude that was a California senator that did this. What La La Land are you all living in? I should never even been asked that question. It doesn't even make any sense. Did he legally review ePredator's material? First of all, he was my lawyer at one point. Sometimes I would send him a protest sign and go, am I safe here? You know? Because when you're putting your ass on the line like that, with a megaphone, sometimes you go to a lawyer to go, where am I legally protected here? I want to make sure that I'm using my First Amendment right in the right way and protecting myself. Okay. This is the deep dive, you guys. It's kind of boring, right? But it's because I'm irrelevant. This is so fucked up. Based on information from 3 sources with direct knowledge, is it correct that Alexa initially assumed a highly visible ambassador role? Is this from Shift 2? I'm pretty sure this is from Shift 2. This sounds like them. Am I wrong?
This is probably more of a Kaylee.
Oh, and a Neela thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That you were just like.
So I'm just an ambassador.
the
Neela, you were
ambassador.
not
It's
even.
like you were doing anything, organizing, choosing what to protest about, doing.
Kat, I'm
research.
dropping the drive of all of the evidence. And then we can let people decide if the article didn't come out because I was irrelevant or not. This is going to be fun. Not at all. Based on information from 3 sources with direct knowledge, is it correct that Alexa initially assumed a highly visible ambassador role? Wow. Within ePredators as the member with the largest pre-existing social media following. So you just wanted me to be the person like selling Neutrogena. Again, dehumanizing me. What? Because I'm a celebrity? That had to be it. There's no way that like a celebrity or a child actor, a privileged person, I don't even know whatever, could ever do something that mattered and did it herself. There had to be somebody else doing it for her. Woo! You feel this like dehumanizing, just dehumanizing. I'm just an ambassador. I did this all. And this is not even any of it. I did this with my husband. For hours. Even Melanie. Shout out to fucking Melanie. Love you, Melanie. Sit there until 5 a.m. designing. Neela, nowhere to be found. Kaylee, nowhere to be found. Kay, nowhere to be found. Joe Dunn, honestly, nowhere to be found unless I had to call him to ask him the question that I just told you. No one. Melanie. Honestly, Elle would sometimes come over for when we would all hang and but this was me. I did this. And I had help. I'm not good at the tech stuff. I can't do like the graphic design. Sometimes Melanie would help with the graphic design. Miko. We worked our asses off. That's the reality. I wasn't using survivors to like make things for me to then take all the credit. That's just not real. That's just Twitter. That's just misinformation. And I'm tired of it, honestly. Again, all the evidence, Kat has it. Everything I say, Kat has it, physical evidence. I mean, literally just goes on, and there's exhibits, and I mean, it literally just goes on. Do you guys like my t-shirt? I'm sure you don't. I wonder why the hatred came about this t-shirt too. I'm allowed, you understand that I am a survivor of Nickelodeon, right? Like, I'm not some random person trying to like profit off of, you do understand where, you get it? Like, I protested Nickelodeon. I did that too. Have to eat. And what a cool way to eat, to see people supporting survivors. Wear a protest sign on their fucking t-shirt. Better than buying a shitty t-shirt at fucking Target, honestly. Support a survivor. They lose their jobs for speaking out. I don't have my acting career. I don't have that. That's not gonna happen for me. Because I spoke out against it, goddammit. You make fun of me for that too, to eat. Never can just give me the credit I deserve. That anyone deserves when they're doing the right thing. But always nitpicking, 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 nitpicking. Dehumanizing with labels. Irrelevant. Woof. Just icky. And it's not real. Again, you don't know me. And I love this t-shirt. Because for so long I wasn't believed about Nickelodeon and Dan Schneider. Actually, I was in this situation kind of like at 12. You know what it was like telling people that Jamie Lynn Spears was a bully? That used to be, people would look at me and go, Britney Spears' sister? No, you have to be the problem. Dude, and then look at what happens. It took a long fucking while, but we found out a lot about Jamie Lynn Spears, didn't we? So whatever, it might take some time before everyone realizes what the fuck you guys are doing and what bullies you are. Truth ages well. Lies die. Watch it. So yeah, no, not an ambassador. Cute though. What a bully. How would Alexa respond? This part is unbelievable. How would Alexa respond? I can't believe this question. How would Alexa respond to the characterization that she is crafting a revisionist history of the origins of e-predators? I'm gonna have some yerba mate while he drinks White Claw. What does Adam have to say?
It's not a great look, I'm gonna be honest.
It's really not, though. It's really not. How would I respond? It's fucking false. Revisionist what? You actually saw receipts that I made the e-predators protests. I mean, how much do you guys need to see of this anymore? I'm exhausted of myself. I mean, it just went on. It just, who even cares? This is all just ticket. Dude, go this is revisionist. No, where's just the conversation with Kay?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, like, where's just me actually, where is it?
Right here.
Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, me organizing this protest. And then what do I say? Going with my husband with signs. Are you interested in joining us? It's an all ages show. Blah, blah, blah. What do I say? I'm going to have a picture of his face, blah, blah, blah. And then one that says, eat predators. I mean, even, well, I mean, Kat, you got letters from people. You got letters from Melanie. You got letters from others that were actually there, that emailed you, letting you know that they saw with their own very eyes me doing the work. It just goes on. I mean, literally, even just making the flyers. Anyways, let's move on. Okay. Based on information from 5 sources. What's the info? Based on information from 5 sources, with direct knowledge and public social media posts, is it fair to say that Alexa has driven internal and external conflicts regarding e-predators, including personal attacks against other members and efforts to turn the rest of the group against specific members? Kat, what did you find out? Full screen. What'd you find out? That I was being attacked. That I was being bullied. That I was being mistreated. That I was being called names. Like Alexa and... What do you think you're doing? What is different about what you're doing, honestly? I mean, there is a difference, but my point in making those videos on YouTube was after months and months and months of enduring attacks, unwarranted, just meanness, honestly. And then shifts, and being stalked. It's like very traumatizing memories for me. And even when I spoke out for the first time to defend myself, I redacted their names. I protected them. But I had to stand up for myself. This wasn't about attacking someone. You got to see all of the attacks that were happening for months and months towards me. Calling me a washed up, what did Neela call me? Oh yeah, a washed up child star. What was the other thing that she, oh yeah, she said she was smarter than me. Neela. What does that matter? We all know a lot of smart people that are ruining the world. A lot of smart people that pollute our water. We know a lot of smart people that are honestly horrible. What matters in this lifetime, Neela, is being a good fucking human being. Again, it's about ratio, and you're smarter than me, and I'm irrelevant. My God, you just tell on yourself. Just be a better fucking human being, please. And then, God forbid, when I post Kat, it was like the first image I found on Google. Then, Adam, when I made a still of you, the still was not to make that you look bad. You guys are so mean that all you see is meanness. That's how you are. That's what you are. That's how you behave. I show that still because that's when you said, this is not a good look. And you were, I was like, this is what you're going to be like when you watch this video. It's It's a joke. I wasn't trying to, you didn't look bad, Adam. You look great. Never said that. You're like that, though. And that's sad. Kat, that was a photo I found of you, honestly, on Google. I was like, this is the reason for my break. You, Kat. Why are we making it about looks? Never said that. I'm not like you. I'm not like you. And I'm glad I'm not. Moving on. Why has Alexa used the ePredators YouTube channel to attack former members of the group? What purpose does this serve within victim advocacy? I don't know. Why are you trying to make articles about me, Kat? Why are you making articles about Drake Bell? He's a victim. I'm a victim. What's the point of it? Not attacking. It's reporting. When someone commits crimes, Kat, like stealing money, stalking, I think, with Autumn, literally arrested for violence. I'm reporting, like you. These people were attacking me, had to defend myself, came with the receipts. But if you really listen to my videos when I was doing all of that, it was about survivors divided. It was about trying to get survivors to understand how we actually ruin, how maybe it's not predators that we necessarily have to be worried about ruining the movement, but us dividing. And I think I made that very fucking clear. My intention, yeah, I was upset. I was standing up for myself. Crimes were happening. I was reporting on it, trying to protect the survivor community, because I was also reopening the Discord. And I was very scared. I just didn't want this to happen again, and it did. Didn't matter how much work, how much reporting I did. It still happened again. So what's the point of you writing the Drake Bell article? What's the point of you doing this? This is what I'm dealing with. This is actually, the more I read it, the more I can't believe it. Did Alexa and/or an ePredators YouTube moderator delete comments on ePredators live streams and/or live chats containing information disputing the claims of former members stealing money from survivors? I don't even know what the question is. I get what the question is. That GoFundMe was from hell. What I dealt with that GoFundMe, so glad I'm not in that day, present day, anymore. Because honestly, that was awful. I had to see that money wasn't being accounted for, that I was getting people to donate. Saw money not being added up. I see that money's being refunded. Hotels are being refunded. The money can't be proven where it's going. Dude, whatever. Moving on. 11. Why did Alexa establish ePredators as a for-profit entertainment company with Alexa serving in every executive position? Kat, it's called a podcast. It's called a YouTube channel. This is not a nonprofit. What? Does that bother you? Like, when people say you're a journalist, let's get out of here. When people say you're a journalist, what does that mean? You get paid to do the work that you do. Why am I being bashed for having a podcast? Ooh, what? I'm making what is Adam doing? This is actually, Adam, you make money off of YouTube? You make videos about Colleen? Fine. Actually, I'll never forget when I first saw your YouTube video. I remember turning to Miko and going, that's so badass. I didn't even know that was cool. That's cool. That was cool to me. That you had no shame about that. that you, instead of going to a journalist, you were just saying it on your YouTube channel and you were making money. Good for you. So here I am. Weird when it's Adam, nothing. Weird when it's me, it's something. And why am I in every executive position? Because I am. I am in every executive position. For the most part. Does that bother you? Because what, I'm like a woman, or what about it bothers you? What does that even mean? Oh, my husband? I mean, you need a man on there or something? Like, it's me. Sorry. How was the money from ePredators Patreon subscriptions used before ePredators was filed as a for-profit entertainment company? I'll just wait for those, just that to go. What exhibit is it? Anyways, there's the receipts. 306. There it is. You know how? Buying the the protest signs. You know how this is ink. We were printing this at home. I was putting money into this. The money that we don't have. They were financing protest signs, not including the labor of research, printing, assembly. I mean, dude, I'm not even going to go into this. It's ridiculous that it's so ridiculous. It was going into the work, okay? How was the money from Patreon used after the filing? After filing as a for-profit company, the Patreon funds continued to go towards the ink and paper. However, as more subs joined, I was able to properly compensate myself. It goes into the live streams, getting the gear. What's the exhibit 9.3? Oh, audio. Anyways, okay. Like, I can't believe. What do you want to see? My like bank statements next? Like, this is. Gee, where is Adam? How you spend your money when you make a Colleen video? Ridiculous. Who even cares? I don't want to know. Go get a drink. Go get a White Claw. But I mean, this was actually going into the work. Before, after, during. This costs money. My everything costs money. It's a Have all ePredators Patreon members received the free merchandise associated? Oh my God, here's the thing about the merchandise. Yes. Yes. This question is based on information from one source as well as a public comment on social media asking about undelivered stickers. Goes into all of it, show all of the receipts.
Wait, can I just say that this social media post is like a Twitter account that was a customer?
Can everyone hear you?
Yeah.
It's on? Okay.
No, I'm just saying, like, she continually went on Twitter and the defamatory website made about you, or the petition, and like gathered her information and sourcing from there and like relayed it.
Oh, Kat did. Yeah, Kat was getting all of the sourcing from this. I'm not even gonna say this person's name because I don't. It's like Beetlejuice a little bit. I don't want her to pop up. She honestly freaks. She is with my stalker. You don't want to say her name because when she comes out, it's serious. Honestly, freaked me the fuck out. Started working with my stalker, made a petition to get me kicked out of the thing that I actually created. Bizarre behavior. Bizarre. And said I wasn't actually fulfilling my, I don't know.
When you are consistent.
It's printful, guys. It just goes.
Automatic.
It's automatic. You make a payment and it okay. But you have all the evidence, Kat. And I hope you're saying that in the chat if you're in here anymore, nor do I care.
She fought hard to get the article published, but they just wouldn't budge because it wasn't relevant.
Okay,
enough.
Kat, whatever.
Wow.
You fought real hard for what? To show that what was in the final article? I'm just curious.
What was left?
What was
After Every
left?
question was answered. With
Dude,
full
there's
transparency.
hundreds and hundreds of files proving you were wrong. And also, aren't you supposed to be not biased? Why are you fighting her? What
Yeah,
you're looking at
You're
evidence that
still
actually
looking for the angle
it's
after
crazy.
All of the truth.
It's really sad. You just don't like me. That's okay. Not really liking you these days either, honestly. Pretty pissed. Anyways, did Alexa offer to pay an ePredator's Discord moderator California minimum wage? Guys, I was getting $500. Oh my God. It's just so frustrating. These were also independent contractors. These weren't employees. It's like I told them exactly what my budget was, how many hours, and how they had to clockify it. It's all written documentation, which you have, Kat. God, it's really fucked up. Okay, I'm glad we're getting to the end.
Yeah.
How does Alexa respond to a former Discord moderator saying they were paid less than California minimum wage for the hours they worked despite an agreement? Can we go to the answer? Mika? Okay. It's going to take too long. Okay. What is Alexa's response to the petition for a civil harassment restraining order filed against her on April 10th? What is my response? I want to be left alone. I give up. I don't want to do this anymore. You guys don't understand, it put me at risk. And now I have people like Kat who encourage that type of behavior. How do I feel about it? How do I want to respond? Look at my face. Here's your last and final question, Kat. And I want it to be fucking remembered that you're a victim blamer and that you don't believe survivors. How does Alexa respond to the claim that she obtained a restraining order against a former ePredators member on false or incomplete pretenses based on claims within the April 10 filing and information from 4 sources? You don't believe me? With all the evidence. DEATH, threats. My daughter. Stalking me physically. Endless YouTube videos, posts. I'm done. Truth ages well. Lies die.
Haters, man.
The end.
We'll see how it all ages, Kat. I'm sorry your article wasn't able to get published because I'm irrelevant.
You about to lose your job.
I'm sorry that I'm irrelevant and you couldn't get the whatever out there. That was awful.
Exhausting.
Kat, another really disappointing moment I had with you from afar was you saying you were like waiting for my stalker's comment. For an article that didn't come out, you put my life at danger. Do you understand me? You can laugh and say that you don't believe me and all this. Okay. You better hope nothing fucking happens to me. I mean that. You know how many stalkers don't ever get a restraining order? You know what happens? When I was hearing the statistics on survivors that, I'm not going to say it because I don't even want to, I don't want it to be true, honestly. You know where stalking leads? But you didn't care about me. You don't care about survivors. You cared about Drake Bells. All right. See, we can all, this is why this is so exhausting. Before I end this, you feel justified doing your thing. I have a reason for why I had to take down that video. But at the end of the day, like, how are we treating each other? I thought you hated dep heads, man. I thought you hated that. I thought you hated making fun of survivors. Thought that that wasn't your style. I thought you would never like someone saying that a survivor was irrelevant. Thought that wasn't your style. But it is. I'm done. Power to survivors.
Power to survivors! Power to survivors!
Bye.